I think as children we all came to Tintagel and none of us remember it. It's one of those sort of mythical places that we've all heard about and visited, maybe in our dreams, maybe in reality. It's hard to imagine that in the 3rd and 4th century the population of Tintagel was greater than London. The Arthurian legends really started with the books of Geoffrey of Monmouth, who wrote that Arthur was conceived here. He wasn't born here, he was conceived here. Obviously those stories became very important in the 10th, 11th, 12th centuries, and Richard, Earl of Cornwall, decided that he was going to build a castle here and that he might inherit some of those Arthurian powers. The Victorians then picked up in Arthurian legends, and tourism was starting, and the Victorians started coming to Tintagel, again to pick up a little bit of that magic. Here we are today with all of those different layers, the 5th century, the 12th century, the small bits of Victoriana, which make it such a fascinating and magical place. Bridges can take many forms. Their function is quite simple. I go from A to B. I cross a road, a river, a railway. It's hard to imagine that 1,000 years ago, where we're standing now in the mainland ward, was connected to the island. There was actually an isthmus of rock that connected the two with a small drawbridge in the middle. And in a mere 1,000 years, which is a smidgen in geological time, that is eroded away. And now we have this significant gap, this 65-metre wide gap between the mainland and the island. Coming to the site, you're thinking, how are we going to integrate this into the landscape? It is a scheduled ancient monument, it's cliff faces, site of special scientific interest, all of these things. And then you see the site and you think, forget that, how on earth are we going to build a bridge in this location? And actually those very constraints led us towards a cantilever solution. The great advantage of a cantilever solution is that we could bring it in small elements using a cable crane, and at any point of the construction it was stable. It wasn't relying on temporary formwork like an arch would. And again, that's one of the things that pushed us towards the idea of two cantilevers that reached out from either bank and almost met, but not quite, in the middle. For the deck, we have 40,000 hand-split slates, quarried just 4 miles away from here at Delabole and laid on edge. And they give this lovely, slightly crunchy feel, as if you're walking on after 8 mints as you cross. People talk about the gap in the centre of the bridge, and it's a key design feature. There's a technical necessity. Steel expands and contracts with temperature, and the bridge needs to move. But there was a much more important idea, and that was this idea of a threshold, of going from the mainland to the island, from going from the present to the past, reality to legend, all of those sort of magical things that Tintagel is famous for and attract so many people to it.